All right, this is the third in my three-part series of videos about Harry and my reaction to the CBS interview trailer. If you haven't seen the first two, go ahead and have a look at those. Now, this is not a Harry and Meghan hate channel at all. And I actually, at the beginning, thought I would never be doing this kind of a video where I get all agitated and freaked out and annoyed and... Well, I am agitated and freaked out and annoyed and frustrated and really repulsed by what I saw on that Harry said three things, and each thing was just so crazy. It showed how sanctimonious he is, how ignorant he is, and today, in this video, we're doing how condescending he is. And so he was talking to the lady, he was saying, she said, you would hope that if our children ask for help, somebody's there to help. And so the first video that I did was about him being condescending and how he said, yes, if parents know how to help, implying that parents are so ignorant that they don't know how to help. Then the second thing he said displayed his ignorance, where he said all parents have to be first responders. So he doesn't even know what a first responder is. So go and look at that video. And this is now his sanctimonious sentence, where he says, even the best first responders in the world might not know how to prevent, and he says, unaliving. He goes there. He goes there. So firstly, Harry, first responders' jobs are not to prevent unaliving. Other than those very, very rare situations where some guy is standing on the edge of a bridge and is about to jump off, first responders being policemen, and usually it's policemen who get there first in that kind of a situation. And yes, they do talk people off ledges. They actually do know how to prevent this kind of situation. The underlying energy, butterflies in gloom. After sadness, happiness and hope will return. Okay, we'll see what that's all about when we get to the end of the reading. And I'm just clearing the energy so that my aggravation doesn't colour the energy reading and the cards and what the energy of the cards say. I am not anti-Harry. I'm not a Harry hater. I am not a Meghan hater. But I do call out bullshit behaviour when I see it, okay? So, what do the cards say about Harry saying, even the best first responders in the world wouldn't know how to prevent self-unaliving? Ooh, the fairy bee. My life is sweet. Oh, yes. This is Prince Harry up in his ivory tower in his $16 million mansion with his 16 bathrooms running hot and cold servants. But he's got a sting in his tail. This is the thing. This is the thing that I don't understand about Harry and Meghan. They believe, or they think, or their actions portray that they believe that in order for them to look good, they have to tear down other people. They have to use that little sting in their tail to be nasty, to be mean, to be horrific. I mean, the things that he said about his family in his book in Oprah, they have to try and demean others to make themselves look like the hero. Why? Just be a good, decent, kind, nice person and people would love you. Yeah, going about it the wrong way. Oh, this card comes up regularly when I'm reading for Harry. Now you are independent and free. And this card is mocking Harry. It's not me, okay? I shuffled and I even put the cards in right into the different places in the deck. So it's not my fault this comes up all the time. Harry is now like a deer in the headlights. You want to be free, Harry? Now you're free, okay? You're free and independent, and you know what? People are seeing how dark your heart is. This card also comes up regularly when I'm reading on Harry and Meghan. Meghan being in the background there, whispering poisonous things into Harry's ear, telling him how mean his family is, how he's held captive by his family, and Harry leaving the protection, the shell of the royal family, and sticking his neck out for Meghan. This idea of doing this interview and coming out as these champions of the internet for children to keep them safe, well, it's Meghan's idea, because you know what? You can spout a whole lot of word salad and nobody will actually know or be able to hold you accountable. That there's no metrics that you can measure. You haven't planted 50,000 trees. You haven't saved 10 million tons of carbon dioxide going into the city, into the oxygen. It's not a kind of thing that people can actually measure. You can just say you did it, or you can talk around in circles, and people might hopefully think or believe that you've done something that made a difference. An elder will teach you. So this elder here, I think this is Megan, behind the scenes, controlling, and telling Harry what to do. And he thought that she was rich and famous and successful when he met her. He thought she was a Hollywood A-lister, and that's why he was so infatuated with her. And I'm just trying to think of, it's kind of like if you met, okay, in her heyday, Julia Roberts, for example, or Jennifer Aniston, or Angelina Jolie before she got all weird and entered into the big fight with Brad Pitt. One of those most famous Hollywood actresses. That's kind of how he saw her. That's how he saw her. And yeah, he thought that she was the self-made woman who could tell him how to be in the world. But also, this elder will teach you. This is Meghan and Harry both wanting to tell the world what to do. We are the king and queen of the universe, and you should do it the way we say. And you know what? Even first responders, the best first responders in the entire world, they don't know how to handle this situation, this emergency, where I can ride in as a knight on a white horse, a knight in shining armor, and I am the elder that will teach you. I am the one. I am the keeper of the sacred knowledge. Nobody else knows how to do this, even though the internet's been around for decades and there are organizations and institutions already set up. I will be the one with no qualifications, no experience. Deep, dark mermaid. Find solutions in unknown places in the darkness. So this is a smokescreen. I'm getting from this card. This interview is a smokescreen so that we don't know just how little Harry and Meghan actually know about this topic. They're going to talk about fancy buzzwords and throw around statistics and try and create a smokescreen so that they're hoping that people don't realize just how ignorant they are, and to come in and tell even the most experienced first responders that they know better is just gaslighting to the highest degree. And you know who actually has helped children on the internet be safe? Prince William. That's right. In 2017, if you look at, I think it's the Silly twins, they found old news reports. In 2017, Prince William was actually working with a charity that their focus was to help keep teenagers safe on the internet. And so, again, this is something that has already been done by the royal family. And Prince William didn't claim to be the font of all knowledge. He didn't say, I know better than the first responders, even the most experienced first responders. No, he did what the royal family do. He raised up somebody else. He raised up a very good cause that already had the qualified people in place to bring real change and real help to the world. You are unlike anyone else. Your contradictions and complexities are interesting. Yeah, well, Harry, you certainly are unlike anyone else. You certainly are contradictory and complex. I don't know about interesting. This to me also just shows the dichotomy in Meghan herself. She comes across as smelling sweet as roses, if you look at that clip of the interview. And she's saying all these lovely things, and she's talking about my lovely little children, and all you want to do as a parent is keep them safe. And she's got this fake smile on her face. And then, as soon as Harry talks, bam! She's got the most hateful, terrifying look on her face. Look at the body guy. He's done a video on it. She's just two-faced, and she's teaching Harry how to be the same. You are unlike anyone else. Meghan is unlike anyone else because she kissed a prince and turned him into a frog. And Harry is unlike anyone else, because who in history ever gave up their privilege and their incredible life of service in a family that had an incredible example of service and had their heads turned just by somebody who's he thought was pretty and he thought was successful, so that he could rebel in his later years in life. I mean, he wasn't a teenager. Good grief. Yeah, he had every gift and every opportunity in life, and now he's there telling the most experienced first responders that he knows better than them. For goodness sake, Harry, you can't stop talking about your dead mother. How are you going to help anybody else? You have serious mental health issues that come across in everything you say and do. I mean, you can't stop talking about your dead mother. You need help, man. You need mental help. How can you help anybody else? Okie dokie. Once upon a midnight dreary. Creativity, genius, writing, expression, artistic flow, plotting behind the scenes, orchestrating. Come on, Harry, we're going to save the world. Let's come up with some kind of idea. What can we do where people can't really have any metrics as to how well we're doing? What can we do? How can we plot to make ourselves relevant? How can we be the ones that are seen as the saviours of the world? And this gives me the energy of when Megan went to Uvalde after that terrible tragic shooting, and it was all about grief porn. Honestly, she was there with her photograph crew, and how they took photographs of her. And you know, these people, they haven't spoken to Thomas Markle in years because he staged a pap walk one time. One time. What about the pap walk she staged at Uvalde? Huh? What about that? Using dead children, grieving families to elevate your status, to pretend to give a damn. And yet you can't even forgive Thomas Markle for staging a pap walk. Not that there's anything there to be forgiven, because we know that you and your wife staged pap walks. So, you know what, Harry? Your children will learn from your actions and not from your words. And if you want children that are well and healthy and balanced, and I hope they do grow up well and healthy and balanced, and don't at me about whether they exist or not, we're just going to, for the purposes of this, talk about them as being there, you are not doing your own children any favours. Okay. Butterflies in gloom. After sadness, happiness and hope return. Well, I get the feeling that Harry really is very sad. He really is very sad, because he was the most beloved member of the royal family after the late Queen herself. And he's gloomy. He doesn't know what happens. He can't understand it. He doesn't know. And he feels that if he engages himself in this cause, then he can bring the light back into the world, the light back into his world. He can be beloved again. But he doesn't realize that he's going about it in the wrong way. Please like this video if you do, and subscribe if you haven't. So Harry, special people, holiday, funny thing that happened, happy times. What does this say? Memories. Yep, he is stuck in the memories of his past. And even though he said bad things about his childhood in that, well, in every whinge fest he's ever done, there's something in him that harks back to those happy days. And he seems to think that the only happy times he had was with his mother. But that's not true. We've seen all the photos. We've seen the photos of Charles riding on a bicycle with Harry on the back, or was it on the front? We've seen the photos of Charles putting his arm around Harry on the ski slopes. He wants to get back to what he had. But if he wants to get back to what he had, he needs to think about how they were as a family. He needs to be totally honest with himself. He needs to own his own actions and take responsibility and not gaslight his own family. And this is the thing, Harry, the most important thing that you could teach the world, the children of the world, about being a good son, about being a good parent is, about being a good parent is how to be a good son. If you cannot show on the world stage respect for your parents, your father and your stepmother and your father-in-law, if you cannot show respect, then your children are not going to respect you. Your children are not going to respect you. And so the thing that you could do that could most influence other families and family dynamics and helping families be close, because the best way for internet predators not to be able to flourish is if you have a very close family. So if you could show and demonstrate a good close family with your father and your stepmother and your brother, and you could show the world how to have a good supportive relationship with the people in your life, those are going to be the people who are going to save the children. Families who are unified, children who respect their parents, whether the children are adult children or teenagers. That's what's going to save the kids from internet predators. Alrighty. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one.